In today's how-to video of Unite, we will be taking a look at how to send an email. So when sending an email, you have two options. You can individually send an email, which we like to call an ad hoc way. So if there's like one member you need to send an email message to, you can do that. And you can also send a bulk email or a group email communication to a specific list of members. So the first method we'll be taking a look at is how to send an ad hoc email. So to do that, you're going to want to navigate to membership and roster. And so once you're at your roster page here, you're going to want to search for the member that you want to send an email for. And once you search for that member, you'll see their profile card here. And from here, you want to look out on the right hand side to where these buttons are. And you want to find the little message button here, which is that fourth button. Here, when you hover over it, it says messages or message. You want to select that button. And when you select this button here, the email will automatically, email ad hoc screen will be displayed for you first by default. And so this is how you send your email. So from here, you can type in a sender's name. So if you can set that sender's name to be whatever you want the recipient to see. So you can set it for as whatever name here. I'll set it as myself. Give a subject. If you have a template that you want to use, you can use that if there's already one built out. But you can just use your regular email text box here. You can type in your message. You can do other things in here like insert a link, insert an image. So you have a lot of different options here that you can do when sending an email. But once all of this, your required fields like your sender's name and subject and your text box is filled out, you can select the send button at the bottom here, and that'll send out that email. And you'll get a success notification that the email has been sent. And from here, this is what the email looks like. So if I pull this email up for you guys here, this is what that looks like. From the user's view. So as you see, this subject is here, test email. It shows who it was originally sent from, and or sent to. I'm sorry, it's not from as well because I've sent it myself. And here's the sender's name up here, and the subject. So that's what it kind of looks like from the user's view. Also, something to note is whenever an ad hoc communication or regular group communication gets sent, if you go to the communications tab of the member here, you can view that email communication here. So the message that we just sent is here in the communications tab. So that covers over how to send an ad hoc email to like an individual member. Now the last way we're going to be looking at how to send an email is going to be sending a group email communication. And so to do that, you're going to want to navigate to membership and under the communicate folder, find communications. And so from here, we're going to get started in adding our new communication. So we're going to select this plus button here to add a new communication. You can set your organization, give it a title. And for your distribution list, if you haven't already watched the video or read the document on how to create a distribution list, I recommend that you watch that if you don't know how to create one. But this distribution list is going to be a dynamic list of individuals that you always want to send or essentially it's just a dynamic list of individuals. And so from here you can use that list to send a communication. So if you had like all active painters in a certain local, you could view that. But for our tests, I will just be doing this here. And so you're going to want to select your distribution list from the drop down. And lastly, in the channel content, you have, we're going to be selecting email, obviously. Now you have two different options. You have primary email and secondary email. So obviously, or not obviously, but usually when you're sending out these communications via email, you want it to be sent to the person's primary email address. Now, if there is a case that you want to send it to somebody's secondary email address, you can select that button here. And what this will do is, instead of sending it to everybody's primary email address, it'll just send it to everybody's secondary email address. So you have that option here, but for our example, I'll just select primary email address and I'll hit save. So it's going to create my draft communication once I select save. I can come in here and edit any of the stuff that I want to if I need to, like the sender's email list. So you can either have the sender's email list yourself, and that'll autofill the name. You can obviously change that display name if you would like. Be sure to save any changes if you make anything. As you see here also, we have a list of recipients. So we have 4 possible recipients. Nobody's opted out or will not receive this message or this email, and we have 4 actual recipients. So far so good. We have 4 possible and 4 actual recipients. So we're good on that part. Now, if we move to the content tab, this is where obviously you will be developing your email message. So if you have a template, you can select that template here that your organization has already built out. You can also, if this is enabled for you, you could use this drag and drop feature, but I'm going to stick with the classic editor type, which is what you're kind of used to seeing, what we're all used to seeing, and with that text box, and you can type in your message here. So I'm going to do that here. You can obviously format it how you like, add different coloring, change the font size, add links, add images, anything that you'd like to do. And so be sure to save that though. Anytime you make a change to the content, just be sure to save this here. So lastly, we're going to move to the recipients tab. This is going to show us all of our recipients here. So we have 4 recipients listed as above here. These are the 4 recipients and their email addresses. If we wanted to add any additional CC people, we could type in their email address in this text box here and select add recipients, but I'm not going to do that. If you wanted to exclude somebody, we could exclude them manually, but we're not going to do that as well. And yeah, so lastly, as we're about to get ready to send, now that our email is all developed, we can send this out if we'd like by selecting the send button with the multiple people in the middle, this middle button here. You also have this option to send a test. So if you want to see how that email would look like, you can send a test. It'll send it out to your email address or whatever the user account email address that you're using for Unite. And yes, so if I move this over here just to pull up that test email, this is what that looks like. So see that the sender's name display list is here, as well as my sender, or the sender's name is listed up here as well, and the subject and all that stuff is listed up here. Lastly, if you select this calendar button, you can schedule this email to go out at a certain date and time. So you have that option there. But once you're ready to send, you can just send out that communication with that send button. Now when I back out and I look for my test group email that I just sent, since I'm in our test environment, it's not going to accurately display this, but as you see here, we have it shows the status of complete. As you see, it's all grayed out too to indicate that it's already been sent. It shows you when it's completed, what day and time it was created, how many people it sent to, the success rate of how many people it got successfully delivered to, and who created it, and what distribution was that person used. You also have some other details like viewing the stats of it, so you can see how many people it got delivered to, how many people failed to or deferred, and et cetera, et cetera. And you have some other graphs here about the engagement of, if you have a link in there, you can see how many people selected the link. So you have a lot of different stats that you can view once you send the communication. And yeah, that really covers sending a group communication, as well as covering how to send out a email communication. So in this video, we covered how to send out a group email communication and send an ad hoc or individual email communication. And yeah, thank you for watching.